Hello, and welcome back to Perfect Date, a game I bet you probably thought we'd never come back to. A game about an island full of cats, and science and intrigue, and camera all good, yeah, and dating. And last time we turned down a horrible, hairless cat who wanted to make love to us, but hopefully this time we'll find someone else to love. It's kind of difficult because they are all cats, but I'm presuming at some point that they'll turn back into humans. We're sort of assuming the end of the story is that they're going to turn back to humans, or that they were humans to begin with. Anyway, we should get started. I don't remember if this button was here last time we played, this endings found button. I'm assuming there's nothing. Oh, they got names. You're stressing me out. Major letdown, major hit. That was to do with Major, the cat, I'm assuming. Okay, well, so there's 18 different endings to this game. I don't imagine we'll be playing through to get all of them. We'll just be playing through the once, unless it's absolutely amazing. So I'll come clean. A big part of the reason that I am playing this again, aside from the fact that it is just fantastic, is that next week on Tuesday we've got a review show, and the only games I've played this month are Hitman, Apex, and Siege, and I thought I needed something slightly different to review. I don't think there's anything new I can say about Apex. So instead, I thought I'd play a bit more of this, get a bit more of an idea of the story. I've got an idea of how it begins, but it's always nice if you're going to review something to have a bit more of an idea of how it plays out. Here's Harold. We're in chapter 1. So it lists... The mystery is still strong, exactly. So it lists Harold as chapter 1, but does this mean that we could potentially have different characters playing all the different chapters? Because that seems like a weird way to present that information if... I don't know. We've romanced no cats. We've done 3 recon missions. We've done no research, despite our job here being research assistant. And we've seen 6.3% of the entire game. And we found a secret. Do you remember what secret we found? Because I don't. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Let's continue. I don't remember any of the voices, so they're probably all going to have different voices this time. But that's okay. At least I don't have a sore throat this time, so I should be able to talk for a bit longer. So, all we have left to do is researching. One of the things it said was that if we didn't rest, like if we just worked over the end of our rest, that something bad might happen. Should we do that? Should we just see what happens if we do that this time round? Because we've got a save file now, I presume. Or it might just send us down a weird side road. I mean, last time we met the devil for our choices right at the beginning, so I can imagine that there's probably like situations for every possible thing you click throughout the entire thing. We can't exhaust ourselves just yet. We have to... So let's just research for now. Oh, and it works like the scout thing, so there's different researching missions. Okay, let's do research 5. Time to round up some rowdy kittens. I remember Harold had my voice. It's a sunny afternoon. Most of the cats are lazing on the beach. Perfect, like shooting fish in a barrel. I double-check my supply list. Crate, treats, sedatives, snare, catnip, antiseptic cream for myself. I've got everything. I have a sick feeling in my tummy. It is exactly like me, but I ignore it as best as I can. This is going to be a challenge, but I'm pleased the professor is trusting me with more physical tasks. I walk out onto the beach, feeling like the child catcher. I keep reminding myself that I'm doing this for the greater good, even if it makes me unpopular with the cats. I set up the crate in an unsuspecting location and keep the snare hidden behind my back. At first, I stroll around, trying to look as casual as possible, whistling a tune as I walk. I get close to one of the smaller cats. I start to stroke her. I want this to be as painless as possible. Oh god. The cat responds well to me. She even starts to purr gently. Are you going to come with me? The cat looks at me with big, wide, loving eyes. Come on then. I pick the cat up and carry her to the crate and place her gently inside. I lock it shut, even though the cat makes no attempt to escape. Well, that went better than expected. This may be a good day after all. Emboldened by my success, I approach one of the slightly larger cats. Hey matey, should we get in the basket? I give him a little stroke. He doesn't respond badly, although he doesn't seem particularly interested either. I put my hands on either side of his body, ready to pick him up. He doesn't look happy about it, and growls a warning at me. Hey, mister, it's going to be okay. We're just going on a little trip, alright? As soon as I start to lift, all hell breaks loose. Yowling and hissing, he scratches my arms to ribbons. I try to get him into the basket, but he stretches out and I can't fit him in. Ow! Oh no! I know when I'm defeated, and I have to let him go. He scarpers off into the distance. Apparently not. Apparently not all the cats were people, or maybe like if they've been a cat for long enough, they're just totally like feral and they can't talk at all. I don't know. I look down at my ravaged arms. Note to self: wear long sleeves when on caging duty. Say it. Okay. Right, let's exhaust ourselves. You have 1 heart remaining. If you choose to continue, it could have negative consequences. Let's go anyway. Let's do research 12. Cataloguing supplies. Or samples. Cataloguing. Yeah. A slow day today. I've got to organise a few samples from previous field trips. Today, I'm in the lab doing flora research. It's not the most exciting job, but if I keep my head down, I can get through it quick enough. It really just consists of unpacking the new samples of plants and flowers that the Professor and I have collected on our foraging expeditions, and logging them into the database of organic substances on the computer. Most of them are common-based plants that grow abundantly in the forest, but occasionally we come across something more rare, exotic even. One of the samples I'm looking at today is cocaine. It's Calendula incana maritima, which is very interesting indeed. I can't help speculating that it's cultivated in the marigold's little greenhouse and then transplanted to open ground. I'm distracted momentarily by the sound of clinking glass, and I turn to see the beautifully manicured paw of a sphinx cat tapping on a beaker, nudging it perilously close to the counter. Does it have a CAT scan? Very good. Boots, stop that! You're not supposed to be in here. She laughs as though I've told a joke. Oh, that's a frightfully pretty flower. I don't remember if this is exactly her voice. Calendula incana maritima, if I'm not mistaken. You never cease to amaze me, Boots. How on earth did you know that? Why, I make it my business to know all about the rare and valuable works of art. Art? Why not? It has been created like a sculpture or a painting. The marigolds are true artists in the garden. I wondered if they had something to do with this. It's so unusual, even in its natural swampy habitat. But to have it growing here in the forest is very out of the ordinary. So the marigolds are characters. Have we encountered these people before? Are they cats? Have we missed a chunk of story here or something? Because this is research 12, and I did find it weird that we had research 12 and then like 5 and 18. I don't know. I guess we'll just go with the assumption that the marigolds are characters and not plants or gloves. Yes, its properties are extraordinary too, human. Well, I'm quite new to the botanical science, so I probably don't know half of it. Why don't you fill me in? Although I'm always happy to facilitate your learning, human, I simply can't stay here a moment longer. The air is so stale, don't you find? I ignore her sideways glance and upturned nose. Let's go to the beach and drink some coconut water, and I'll tell you everything you need to know. She's got a bit of a weird accent at the end there. Snoops, I'm not going anywhere until I finish this. Don't be ridiculous. You can tinker about in here anytime, but the sun will be gone in an hour or two. I'm not tinkering, this is my job. If I don't get it done, the professor will want to know why. Then explain to him that you had better things to do. Snooty Booty, I won't tell you again. If he catches you here, Pawpaw will cage you. Be careful with that flower, human. It doesn't do to inhale that fragrance too deeply. What? I turn to ask why, and see her flounce out, knocking the beaker with a swish of her tail as she does. You did that on purpose! But she's gone, leaving me to clear up the broken glass. Okay, so we've got some kind of super flower that's been created by someone called the Marigolds. As I walk back to my tent, I start to feel a little faint. My head was spinning and I started to feel my legs give up under me. Before I knew what was going on, I was out cold. I came to a few hours later in my tent. The professor was standing over me with an uncharacteristically worried expression on his face. Ah, welcome back to the world of the living, Harold. He's drunk, for the people who weren't here for the last stream. What happened? My head's killing me, Professor. I'm not surprised. You've worked yourself too hard. We found you collapsed in the middle of the base camp. Gave us all quite a scare. I can't say I appreciate your desire to work hard, but health comes first, Harold. I'm having you sent back to the mainland to get some proper supervised rest. What about our research? Ever the hard worker, eh? Not to worry, I'll be able to cope perfectly fine in your absence, and I dare say it won't be long till you're back on your feet again. Oh, I hope I shouldn't need to point out that this kind of behaviour best stay on the mainland, eh? You're lucky you collapsed somewhere safe. Imagine if you were out doing field work at that time. Anyway, I've packed a few more things for you. The boat's waiting on the dock. The sooner you're home and rested, the sooner you can come back to work. And with that, the professor excused himself. So we're getting kicked off the island. Oh shit. Oh no. I made my way forlornly to the jetty. I'd not only let myself down, but all the cats too. The cats. I promised myself that I would take better care of myself upon my return to the island, and redouble my efforts on finding a cure. I had to admit that I was looking forward to meeting up with my family, and some of my old friends too. Friends like... strange. Even after such a short time, I can't seem to remember much about my life before. Joe, the ferryman's son, helps me onto the boat. Morning. Where are we off to? He looks at me suspiciously. I knew you was sick, but I didn't think it was this bad. We're going back to the mainland, remember? Oh, of course I do. I don't. For some reason, in this moment, I can't remember. Alright, so I never caught your name. Mind reminding me? Oh. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Oh. This is humiliating. How can I not remember my own name? Joe smiles. Don't worry, mate. You just sit there for a minute. Dad? Bob comes to join us on the deck. Oh, I don't like the change in the music. Got a problem here, son? I reckon so. Can't even remember their own name. What? Yes, I can. It's... Before I can protest, the older man has pulled what looks like a gun from his coat and is aiming it at me. What in the fuck is happening? What? It's not personal, Harold. We'll just have to take precautions. Can't have any problems reaching the mainland, can we? What? We just got executed. Okay. Right. That's not what I expected. Yeah, that was the that was the first out of 18 endings. So I guess that warning about not overworking yourself was quite important. Taking to the big kitty litter box in the sky. This is worse than the Stanley Parable. I mean that was genuinely stressful, that last moment. Okay, so can we relationship status is complicated with Snooty Booty. Okay, what do we do now? Do we go back in the thing? I got an achievement at the end of that. What was the achievement? Chapter 1. Oh, I got 4 achievements. You can't sleep through the... Oh, shit! The guy is not available. So we genuinely have had Harold murdered. So, when I was loading up the save file and I said it's weird that it shows his name under the chapter title, because surely he'll be in every chapter. The answer to that was no, he isn't in every chapter. Because he gets shot by the boatman. Okay. Who do we want to play then? Any preferences? Pick a character and a name, and we'll have another go at this, I guess. I don't know if we start from the beginning then, because that's the first chapter was Harold dead. There wasn't even a start again button on the main screen. It was literally just a continue button. Let's go for... We'll go for this one. We'll just go round, I guess. And we'll call her... Working? Yeah, it is now. My microphone cable came unplugged. Let's call her... if the professor knew that would happen when he sent you to recover. Well, that's a good point. Yeah. The security guard and the boat people clearly know what's going on. Is the audio working on this? Okay, there we go. Cool. Audio should be back now. Okay, cool. What should we call our new character? Come up with a name for this new woman. People in chat. I don't want to name another one after a cat I own because let's call her Gail then. Very good. I don't want to name another one after my cat because apparently if you turn into a cat, the boatman shoots you, and that was quite upsetting. So. Chapter 2. Yeah, we just keep going. Okay. I'm finally here. So this is the infamous Cat Island, the place I will call home for the next 2 months. Maybe less. When I initially received a letter saying that I'd been placed on a reserves list for the job, I thought that was probably a kind way of saying no thanks and put it out of my mind. So imagine my surprise when sometime later I got a call saying there was an opening for me. Should I still be interested? I have a sudden pang of nerves that this is all a dream and rummage through my bag until I find the proof that puts my mind at ease. DPRI, DP Corporation. Dear Gail, we are pleased to be able to offer you the position of research assistant to Professor Pauper at our research facility on Cat Island. The position will be for an initial period of 8 weeks. Your contract will be sent separately. We are looking forward to working with you. Yours sincerely, Professor Pauper, PhD, BSc, Hons, DPG. Now I know why he drinks. No mistake. That's my name, right there in the top left-hand corner. And there's his name at the bottom, the genius behind this whole operation, Professor Pauper. So we're going to have to go through the whole same intro bit where he introduced us to all the people. Oh shit, that's why that woman didn't talk and why she looked so scared, because she's seen the boatman kill multiple cat people. The ferryman comes out from behind the steering wheel and shouts rather brusquely. Take all your belongings, we won't be back for days, so don't leave nothing you'll need. Thanks, Skipper. He totally ignores me, so I pick up my bags and disembark. Really Stanley Parable, yeah. I mean, I'd heard it described as a bit like, what was the bird one? Hatterful Boyfriend, and that had a lot of like weird, slightly more than dating sim elements in it. But I don't know, I just didn't expect them to fucking execute me on the jetty. A beefy looking man, who I presume is island security, is waiting for me on the jetty. Hello! ID card? Oh, of course. I reach into my back pocket and show the laminated card I was given on the mainland. They issued the 1st of the 3rd, 2017. It's just the Groundhog Day aspect that's very similar. Yeah, except it's not the same person. So we're following a progressive story. We're like, this is the next step in the story, so they just get someone else. He bet. So maybe we can find like Harold's body or something. Also, we know all the cats we're getting introduced to can talk and everything. He barely looks at it before striding off, grunting over his shoulder. This way. I follow him down a dirt track path and get my first proper view of the island. It's beautiful. After no more than a couple of minutes trekking... No, he was shot. I mean, yeah, I guess he's part cat, but he's also dead. After no more than a couple of minutes trekking, we're in base camp. Actually, we don't know if the catification stops when they get shot. Like, he might just be some half-cat hybrid thing. After no more than a couple of minutes of trekking, we're in base camp, which is modest, but functional. It's a bit like glamping, really. Here. He stops at the largest of the tents, indicating that I should go inside. He still has 8 lives. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he hadn't made the full transition. Maybe he didn't have all his lives in yet. As I enter, the professor looks up from his paperwork. Come in, you must be Gale. Delighted to have you on board. Thank you, sir. It's an honour to meet you. You must be exhausted. After such a long journey. Let me offer you some refreshment. Water, coffee, something stronger, perhaps a little whiskey. So last time we had whiskey. Should we have a cup of tea? Because we need to stay on edge. We need a bit of caffeine in us. I'd love a cup of tea. If there's a pot on the go. I can tell you're new. The tea here tastes like cat piddle. You really don't want to drink it. Tea doesn't taste different depending on where it's brewed, surely? Maybe it's the water. Maybe the water around the island is like 90% cat piss now. He pours me a cup of coffee from his canteen instead. It's a good job I like coffee. I don't expect you to begin work until tomorrow, so I'll just give you your kit and some basic instructions and then leave you to relax for the rest of the evening. Thank you, sir. That sounds great. Okay, so first things first. This is your basic kit. He goes over the pile of tools and equipment, explaining each of them in turn. It's all standard stuff until... This is your catalogue. He holds up something that looks like a mobile phone. Yeah. Catalogue? Yes, it was initially designed to record and store data on the cats and all that shit, but we've come a long way, and now there's even a chipping pen that covers to tag the cats so we can keep track of them. Extremely valuable, so can't be easily replaced. Look after it with your life. Yeah, we will recover it from you if we shoot you on the dock. I think he's joking at first, but he looks so intense that I decided to take him seriously. Yes. Yes, sir. Of course, I will. I wonder if we'll get shot if we lose the catalogue. Good. You'll get to know all functions as you go along, but for now, I suggest you take a stroll and see if we can find a few cats that you could try out on. So I spend the next hour scanning cats under the watchful eye of the professor. Is he just going to skip that section? Since we already did this. Yes, okay, good. I was worried that we were going to have to go through the entire meeting the cats and shit and everything. As I unpack and settle into my tent, I notice something odd. A little dugout under my bed. I reach in and pull out an unexpected find. Personal journal of the previous research assistant, the one before me. They must have forgotten it, or left it behind. It's an absolute goldmine of information. It's going to get me up to speed with how it all works around here in no time. However, it seems something else was happening on the island. Something that was troubling them. I get the feeling there's far more going on here than the professor would have me know. In spite of my increasing tiredness, I continue to read, and the journal gets weirder and weirder, to the point where I'm not sure whether I'm still reading, or if I'm dozed off, and now dreaming of talking cats and kidnappings. Eventually I lose the battle and drift into a deep sleep. I wake with a start, and it takes me a moment to get my brain into gear. I can hear a scratching sound and the rustling of paper coming from the tent flap. It's a cat with something in its mouth. Suddenly I'm wide awake. No! It's the journal! Wait! But it's disappeared into the night. Before I know it, I'm out in the cold of the night, chasing it, running with all my might. I must get that book back. It has everything I need to know in it. Barefoot, dressed in only a t-shirt and shorts, running at full speed into the forest in the dark of the night. This is familiar. I know, I've read this in the journal. Something similar happened to the previous assistant. Yet here I am, falling into the same trap. I must be crazy. There's the creepy cat mountains again. I slow to a stop. I think I'm going to be sick. I realise, of course, I'm in the danger zone. Everything goes black and I fall to the ground. So we're being catified as well. I open my eyes. A calico cat, one that I scanned yesterday, is standing in front of me. She drops the journal from her mouth. I pass out. I have to do that Irish accent again, aren't I? This is Major, isn't it? Hello. I say, can you hear me? Are you okay? Here we go again. They used to have a similar voice. Move back a bit. Let him breathe. Has he been bitten? The Sphinx cat is standing over me, staring as I open my eyes. Yes, definitely bitten. Look at his hand. If it's the water, wouldn't the coffee also be dreadful? That's a good point. Sorry, I missed that comment earlier, but that is a very good point. Unless they're getting coffee shipped in from somewhere. I bring my hand up to my face, and through blurry vision I can make out several deep scratches and puncture marks. The cats watch me intently. Is this real? I read something in the journal about kidnapping. Catnapping? Yeah! We're sorry, it was the only way. You stole the journal. Oh, but I gave it back to you. But why did you take it? To lure you out here, sucker. There's no need for rudeness, Kibbles. My head has begun to clear, and I realise that if I can talk to these cats, not only is it all true, but it's already too late. I am down with the sickness. We need to have a talk, human. No, we don't. I know what's going on here. I read all about it from your last victim. Now, Kara, that's not very nice. We prefer to think of you as our champion and our friend. McMurphy, you silver-tongued Irish charmer. My reputation precedes me. Oh, I know who all you are from the journal, so let's cut to the chase here. We did just that, dummy. You know what I mean. What happens now? Well, that rather depends on you, human. Last time we said we'd help them. What happens if we just don't? So what do you say? You gonna help us or not? Fuck it, let's see what happens when we don't. Help you? After what you did to me? Listen to this music. Yeah, the kitty's shitty. Yeah. Basically every ending is getting shot apart from the good ending. This music is mad. Help you? After what you did to me? How could I ever trust you? You steal from me. Put me in mortal danger. I'm doing a speedrun, Steltech. Lie to me to get what you want. What would you do in my situation? Ouch! This ludicrous story about werecats is enough to make me think I must be going insane. So no, it's up to you to sort out whatever's going on here. I will have enough on my hands looking after myself. Lame. What did I tell you? I knew this human lacked the internet and the stamina to be part of our research. You rude, self-opinionated moggy. I would sooner turn into a cat than help you. There's a shocked silence. Slowly, small calico cat pads up to me. I'm sorry, human. If there was some way I could help you, I would. Trixie begins to sob quietly before turning away. Oh, I feel awful. My eyesight begins to blur. I can just about make out the cats retreating into the thick growth of the forest. Despite becoming more and more tired and foggy, I somehow make my way back to the research area, and that's it really. I did plenty of work over the next few weeks on Cat Island. Shit, it's gonna happen again! I'm just gonna get all the research assistants killed, one after the other. I did plenty of work over the next few weeks on Cat Island, but I can't remember much of it. Time seems to have slipped by without my even noticing. I'm sure I did lots of good and interesting work here on the island, but I just can't recall any of it. Only vague memories. At the end of the day, I'm really not that bothered. It all feels like a distant dream to me now. I stretch out in the sand, enjoying the midday sun on my fur, lazily licking my paws clean of the scraps left over from my morning feed. Meow! Oh no. Well, that's two endings. And we're no closer to working out anything about what happened on the island. Okay, I'm going to make a cup of tea after that. At least we didn't get shot. I'm going to say that. At least we didn't get shot. We just ended up being a nice cat lounging on the beach. I'm going to make a quick cup of tea. And when I come back, I guess we'll move on to chapter 3. I didn't think that we were going to finish this today, but it looks like we're just powering the fuck through it, and we're just going to get everyone turned into cats and shot by 10. Which wouldn't be too bad, I guess. Alright, I will be back in a couple of minutes. See you in a moment. Hello. Yeah, sorry about the music mix-up. When I unplugged my mic earlier, all of the audio devices went haywire and everything was broken. But we're back! I got some honey and chamomile tea to help with my voice because this stream requires me to talk pretty much non-stop for 2 hours, and that's quite tough. Anyway, we're back. So, we've killed 2 scientists in the space of an hour, so that's good. I guess Gail isn't dead, but she is a cat. So we'll move on to our 3rd scientist. Hopefully, this one will last a little longer than both Gail and Harold. We've learned we shouldn't get them exhausted, and we've learned that we should just help the cats, which is okay, good. We'll go for this guy here with the eye bags, although he looks very different in that photo. You missed Gail turning into a cat. Yeah, it was pretty quick. Well, you can name this guy if you like, Steltech, or anyone in the chat. First person to pick a name gets to name this new scientist. They might not be around for very long, but you're welcome to. Well, that's a good point. Yeah, Gail will probably be on the island. Boob. No, there was Roman first, and then I saw Boob first, but Roman was actually there first, so we're gonna go with Roman. Such a shame we couldn't go with Boob, but Steltech got in there first, so I guess we'll have to go with that. Send you a screenshot of the chat later. Hey. I was gonna make a punching women joke, but that's for Hitman streams, not for cat streams. Right. Oh, so it's just skipping the whole beginning bit where you look at your contract and everything. It was a long boat journey. My legs are a bit wobbly as I make my way up to the wooden jetty to meet the security guard who has come to collect me. ID? I rummage around in my bag until I find the laminated security pass I was issued with on the mainland. She's not dead. She's a cat. Very different. Still alive, she's just wandering around. We could possibly meet her. Boob is just a long bob. That's a good point. That's a good way to look at it. That quote's going to go down in history, Moradin. You're going to be remembered for that. Come on then, follow me. I have to walk at quite a pace to keep up with him. He's not the social type, so we trek in silence until we're in the camp outside a large tent. He's waiting for you in there. Glad to have you on board, Roman. Should we just go through a few formalities and then call it a day and you can get some rest before you start work properly tomorrow? Sounds good to me, sir. So first, should we have a little refreshment? These are different. The words are different. Because this last time said, I won't let you drink alone. But now it says it's a bit early in the day. I don't know if I should go for whiskey again. Or let's do something new. Let's get some water. I'm parched. Do you have any water? There are natural springs all over the island. If you just want to go and fucking drink out of the ground. But we also have bottled, because we're civilised. A bottled water would be great. I'm not too keen on to start drinking from natural water sources until I'm sure they're not being used as cat urinals. See, this is the clever scientist. He's the first one who's actually clever. He's probably going to get turned into a cat as well, though. We spend the next hour going through my kit, all the typical stuff apart from my super gadget. It's called a catalogue, and it does all sorts of swanky things, even plays music. I met some of the local cats and learned how to scan them with it, which was a lot of fun. Finally, I'm shown to my tent to settle in for the night. I'm going to turn off this radiator, it's boiling. Catalogue! Yeah, I know. It's the puns, they never stop. While I'm unpacking, I find something very interesting under my bed. It's the personal journal of the previous research assistant, the one before me. It only had one paragraph, and it was about her getting turned into a cat immediately. Oh no, actually, she was here for 8 weeks, wasn't she? It was just quick in our view of it. As I read, I begin to discover that there's a lot more going on here than I was told about. It's hard to believe that this stuff is true. Maybe the last researcher was prone to flights of fancy. Still, it makes a great bedtime story material, and I stay up reading until my eyelids begin to close. In spite of my best efforts to read to the end, I drift into a deep sleep. That's a good point. Yeah. It's definitely. If it had sent me through the entire setup every single time, I would have gotten tired of this game very, very quickly. I wake with a start. I can hear the rustling of paper coming from the tent flap. It's a cat with something in its mouth. It has the journal. Wait! But it's run off into the night. I'm chasing the cat at full speed into the forest. I must get that book back. It has everything I need to know in it. I start to feel woozy, and I realise too late that I've strayed into the danger zone. I'm going to be sick. I close my eyes tight and drop to my knees. I open my eyes. A calico cat is standing in front of me. It drops the journal from its mouth. I pass out. I'm assuming it's going to ask me if I want to help the cats again. Could I just get everyone turned into cats straight off the bat and then just speed run to the end of the game? It's not what I'm going to do, guys, don't worry. Hello, can you hear me? Are you okay? I need to come up with a proper voice for him. I think he's like a teenager. Here we go again. Move back a bit. Let him breathe. Has he been bitten? The Sphinx cat is standing over me, staring as I open my eyes. Yeah, definitely bitten. Look at his hand. I bring my hand up to my face, and through my blurry vision I can make out several deep scratches and puncture marks. The cats watch me intently. Is this real? I saw something in the journal about kidnapping. Catnapping? Yeah. We're sorry, it was the only way. My head began to clear, and I realised that if I can talk to these cats, not only is it all true, but it's already too late. I have the sickness. Ooh, ah. We have to talk, human. No, we don't. I know what's going on. I've got the sickness. That's why I can hear you. What happens now? Well, that rather depends on you, human. So are you going to help us or not? Yes. Well, of course I am. You need your help, and you need my help, and I need yours if I'm going to find an antidote. Spoken like a true champion. Well, let's hope it's third time lucky. That should be more than likely. Unfortunately, the last one didn't get very far with discovering what happened to our friends. They didn't make an antidote either. I think with their notes to build on, I'm going to crack this. Well, I promise to give it my best shot at least. Hurrah! Respect. Jolly good show. My catalogue starts beeping. But right now I have to get to work. I'm sort of developing the characters out a bit. Getting a feel for who these cats are. I'm just about to enter the lab to begin my legitimate work when the catalogue beeps. A message without any contact information. That was really quick. I didn't click through for that. Oh, okay. Right, yeah. It said loose lips sink ships. Okay. I remember reading something about the messages in the journal, but I was so sleepy last night I don't recall what it was. I decided to ignore the mystery messenger for now, or I'll be late to work. The professor is already working when I arrive, but I'm not late, so there's no fuss. I get through the day as efficiently as possible and head back to my tent as soon as my work is done. I want to get to grips with finding out all I can as soon as possible. Right. Loose lips, sink ships. Maybe we can sink the ship of the guy who fucking shot Harold. Still salty. The last one didn't research anything, so are you going to be able to get 100%? Probably not. I mean... There were like 18 research things. So if we wanted to do all the research things, we'd have to do all 3 every single chapter. So we can't possibly do that because we've only done 2 out of, and we're on our 3rd researcher. So maybe some point we'll come back, we'll do like a 100% run, maybe, if the ending's good and we want to go back again. For now, we're going to start actually focusing on doing shit and making sure we sleep so we don't get shot again. So we'll do some recon. And I'm going to swap between recon and dating. So actually, what I should do, because there's more dating, we'll do a date, then a recon, then a date, then a recon, just to break things up a bit, because last time we just dated consistently. Ah, we got more options. Snooty Booty's gone, because Snooty Booty dated Harold before he was shot on the dock. I'm never going to stop bringing that up. Let's date Trixie, because her voice is really easy to do. I can hear a strange tapping sound, and it grinds on my brain until finally I have to go to investigate. I've been tagging cats all morning, and the sun is high in the clear blue sky now, so it's time to take my break anyway. I decide to follow the sound. Oh, so McMurphy had a broken heart when we started talking, the first time we talked to Snooty Booty. And I assumed that was like, oh, the next time we come round, Harold will get to talk to someone else if he turns down. But I guess it's that if you pick one of them, you're locked in for this scientist. This scientist is now going to have a relationship with this cat. And then they get taken off the list because they've had a relationship. Okay. I make my way further along the beach to inspect the rocks and cliffs that run along the perimeter of the island. Tap, tap, tap. It's hard to tell if it's getting louder, if I'm just getting more consumed by it. Suddenly the tapping stops, and I hear a new sound altogether. It's a strange gurgling, like the sounds of a babbling brook that runs through the deep forest, but I wouldn't be able to hear that all the way from the beach. I stand still and strain my ears, listening intently. There it is again. A short eruption of burbles. I look around suspiciously and notice a barely concealed opening in the contours of the rock face. I feel compelled towards it. As I get closer, the gurgling shapes into gleeful giggles. Hello? I wait at the mouth of the cave, feeling like I've been lured here, but at the same time, like an intruder. Am I disturbing you? Pooh-Man! Oh, Trixie, it's you. What are you doing here? I could hear you from all the way up the beach. You're a long way off base. I could ask you the same thing, Hooman, but I won't because I know why you're here. You were drawn to me. I knew you'd come sooner or later. I made it nice for your visit. Okay. Oh, well, come on in, Hoomy. And she's disappeared into the darkness of the cave. These cats are all cocky. Oh shit. I squeeze myself in after her, and as my eyes adjust to the gloom, I am at the same time taken aback by the light. We're in a small cavern which should be pitch black, except it's not. There's a light source that my brain can't quite understand immediately. The rocks, or at least some of them, are radiating with a warm golden pink glow which gives the tiny cave a peculiar ambience, almost like a trashy nightclub. It's all radioactive rocks. We all have cancer. There's actually no cats on the island. Everyone's just going delusional. The music is all still meows. It's very weird. I actually quite like it. Take a piece of space and make yourself at home, Hoomy. Take a piece of space. It's a weird way of wording that. I sit where I've been standing, as there's not much room here. I start to take in my surroundings. Wow, Trixie, this is fantastic! All around us are different types of rocks, stones and crystals, all different colours, sizes and shapes. There are piles of the stuff in every nook and cranny, like a little Aladdin's cave. What exactly is this place, Trix? It's my pad. It's where I do my thing. We all need our thing, don't we? Yes, I suppose, but what exactly is your thing? Minerals! I collect them. It's more than just collecting them, though. I embrace them. She's like one of those hippie people who believes in, like, what's it called? The thing where water has memories. Homeopathy. That's it. Homeopathy and crystals for healing. That's who she is. Should I make her like a hippie then, I guess? Like, you hug them? Trixie giggles. Yes, I do. But that's not what I meant. I connect with them and allow their properties to become a part of me. We combine our energies. Yeah, she's a hippie. Yeah, that's who she is. I'm not quite sure I understand. Look, it's easier if I show you. Small cat begins nudging and pawing at some of the stones until she's lined them up in front of me. Here's my island family. Meet the Grand Dame. She indicates a long, slender pink stone, quite smooth and elegant. Feel her. I run my fingers over the shiny, cold surface. Remind you of anyone? Oh, the rocks are all representations of the other cats. A smile breaks over my face, and Trixie begins to giggle. Yeah, you got it. Only don't ever tell Snooty that I'm calling her Grandma. Here, how about this guy? I'm presented with a large, squat chunk of rock, semi-covered with a kind of moss that gives it the appearance of having fur. As I turn it, the light picks up the colour, and I can see a warm, rich amber tone, almost like marmalade. It makes me laugh out loud. That really is uncanny, the Major in rock form. Mineral, actually. Nice Breaking Bad reference. But yes, Gramps has all the qualities to lead my little family. I've already moved on to the next stone, and the resemblance is striking. A dirty green stone that fits very comfortably into the palm of my hand. It hasn't been polished like Snooty Booty, so it's a bit murky looking, but there are small patches that have been rubbed. Yeah, that's Snooty Booty right there. That's the Grand Dame, which could very much be the name of a suspect item. Very uncouth. It hasn't been polished like Snooty Booty, so it's a bit murky looking, but there are small patches that have been rubbed clean from handling. They are a breathtaking emerald, catching the light so the green sparkles refracting and dancing around the cave. It's beautiful. Yeah, naughty Uncle McMurphy can be like that, don't you find? Oh, he certainly can. His charm is very beguiling. I've never found McMurphy particularly charming, but all the characters seem to say it, so that must be his personality. No one. What about Kibbles? Take a closer look, Humi. I strain my eyes into the gloomy light and see a flat, jagged piece of stone next to Floofy Butt, and then I get it. It's a pebble! He is a pebble! We both laugh, and it really does seem to capture Kibbles, but it's hard to say why, because they haven't given him a personality. It's the energy. Everything has an energy, and we're all connected by it. Allow me to demonstrate. Take my paw and close your eyes. I do as instructed, hold the tiny paw in my hand, being as gentle as possible because my fingers seem suddenly fat and clumsy by comparison. What do you feel? She's warm and fragile, and I almost feel like giggling. Oh, what the fuck's happened here? A bit tipsy, really. Okay, now keep your eyes closed and hold my other paw in your hand. When I have both of her paws, the feeling is intensified. I begin giggling out loud despite myself, and I'm overcome with a delicious feeling of joy. Open your eyes. I look down and see that I'm only holding one of Trixie's paws. In the other hand is a small clear crystal, completely smooth. Oh wow! But how? It felt just like your paw, warm and furry. I know! Trixie is laughing. You were feeling the energy. This is me. Trixie indicates the crystal. Oh my goodness, Trix, this is so cool! Thank you for letting me meet you all. I notice her face change, as that she looks as though she's been hurt. Oh, Trixie, what is it? You okay? This isn't all of us. What? There's someone else in my island family, but we don't talk about her anymore. This is the other cat on the date screen. The 6th window with the question marks. Oh? She was the coolest sister ever, but she's not with us anymore. Oh, Trix. Did she pass away? No such luck. She's being kept alive. Oh, shit. Trixie nudges a small black piece of stone towards me. I pick it up and look at it closely. There's thousands of specks of glitter running through it, giving it an iridescence. It looks like the night sky. I close my eyes instinctively and am immediately overwhelmed by the most intense sadness and despair. It feels as though all the pain in the world is captured in this little black gem. Gosh, Trixie, what happened to her? I can't say. Not yet, anyway. She has taken the stone and hidden it before I even realise it's gone, and suddenly her mood has changed completely again. We need to get you one too, Humi. You should be mineralised, don't you think? I would be honest, Miss Trixie. You're really quite open for a scientist. It's actually a requirement that, in order to be a good scientist, you remain open-minded. Let me read your tarot. I'm a bit thrown. That came out of nowhere. I don't know about that. Not as open-minded as you like to think, then. That's not fair. I just wasn't expecting it. Come on, then. Yes or no? Fine, fuck it. Let's learn our future. If she doesn't say we get shot on a dock, we know she's a crap fortune teller. Okay, why not? I played tarot once at uni. It was great fun. Oh, Humi, tarot isn't a game. Of course not. Go on then. Tell me who I'm going to marry. Trixie lets out a small snicker. I don't know why, but I'm starting to feel a bit nervous. You will fuck a ginger cat. Later on. The calico cat produces a pack of cards with an intricate pattern on the back. Wow, that's a cool deck. Where'd you get it? McMurphy got it for me. He won't tell me where from. He finds the coolest things. Also, McMurphy's got a hookup somewhere. Trixie places the pack of cards on the floor, begins waving her paws over it, and lets out a strange yowling sound. Finally, she stops and fans the cards out in front of me. Okay, your turn. Close your eyes and slowly run your hands over the cards until you feel drawn to one. Touch it lightly. Repeat until you've chosen 3 cards. I self-consciously do as I'm told, relieved that I'm not expected to make any yowling noises too. I touch 3 cards, and when I open my eyes, Trixie is holding them in her paw, looking thoughtful. Very interesting. Your past is the Fool. Ha! So that's probably because we fucked up twice. The Lovers is your present position. How scandalous. And you have Justice in your future, but will you be handing it out or receiving it? Very interesting. Is that good interesting or bad interesting? There's no such thing as good and bad, really. It's all just information to help you, if you choose to listen to it. Okay, I'm all ears. Are you going to tell me that I'm a bit of a fool who falls in love and gets my just desserts? I notice that Trixie has become quiet and thoughtful as she studies the 3 cards. It feels like an age before she speaks. The position of this card represents your past and everything that has led you to your current situation. The Fool is all about innocence and spontaneity. It's the first card in the major arcana and signifies beginnings. The Fool portends important decisions ahead, which may not be easy to make, and involve an element of risk for you. It's a powerful card, not to be underestimated. The next position is your current situation. The Lovers can be a misleading card because it suggests being all about romance, but it's far more about making difficult choices. It warns you that you need to consider things very carefully, because although a positive outcome is more indicated when this card is present, it also reminds us that pain is seldom avoidable. Finally, we have your outcome card, Justice. This augurs well for you, human. It's the most karmic of the tarot cards. If you behave with integrity, loyalty and courage, you will achieve fantastic results and gain the highest possible successes. Beware though, that sword cuts both sides of the blade. If you sow seeds of discord, you will reap disharmony in your life. There's a longish pause, and I realise that she's finished my reading. Thank you, that was fantastic. You're really good. What did it mean? Oh, really, Humi? What did I say about listening? I heard every word, I just don't know what it means. And go away and think about it. I will. I'll try. Just remember that it's all about interpretation. And listening? Interpreting the cards is listening. You need to listen to your inner voice, and the cards will help you hear it. I have much to learn, and I am happy to teach you, Humi. She is beaming and glowing in the strange half-light of her magical cave. The effect is quite hypnotic. Well, I shall look forward to that, but right now I have a date with a microscope. Soon, Humi. Soon. I make my way out into the bright sunshine and take a deep breath. I'm not sure what all that was about, but I think I rather liked it. Okay, so we learnt from that the other cat that's missing from the cat screen has been captured, I guess, and tortured or something. Whatever's happened, it's not good. Go on a recon mission. See what we can find. Yeah, so these are already done from our previous fella. We've only got 2 more. Oh no, we've got 3 more we can do. Let's do recon 2. Trixie has been telling me about a strange phenomenon in a nearby rock pool. I decided it's probably worth checking out. Oh, is there anything about the flowers? Shipment of supplies. Can't stop thinking about those important... Yeah. Oh, no. Pink letters. Pink letters? Who's Zane? Anyone remember who Zane is? Okay. I don't know if I'm getting this game like out of order or something, or... But do you remember who it was? Oh, anyway, we'll come back to that if we remember. First, we're gonna look at the strange phenomenon in a nearby rock pool. You know what's out of order? Aloha. Save that for Tuesday, Jonas. We'll be discussing that at length. I had a rant about that earlier with Fairy. But we'll save that. We'll save all the ranting about Aloha. I've taken some time off today so that Trixie can show me the water pool she's been telling me about. I have some sample bottles in my backpack, along with some food and a blanket. If it's nice, we can have a picnic lunch there. So these pools appear to be different colours. They don't appear to be Humi, they are. Well, we can't prove that until we've tested them. Reflection, refraction and dispersion can play some fancy tricks on the eyes. Pooh to your testing. You take all the magic away, science person. It makes your world very dull, I think. Maybe you're right, Trixie. Let's wait and see what wonders you're going to show me, eh? That's right, this way. She disappeared from sight. I run to the cliffside where she was walking and look over the edge. I can see that she's jumped to a small rock shelf about 4 meters down from where I stood. Come on, you can do it. Don't be a fraidy cat. I'm more concerned about how I'll get back up again, actually. There are kind of steps further along, but this way is closer to the entrance. Not wanting to appear too much of a killjoy, I clamber over the edge and lower myself down, dropping the last few feet. I slip on a wet rock, crack my head open. Chapter 4. Impressive! You're getting a feline spring in your step. If you say so. I'm worried I may have twisted my ankle, but I don't want to say anything. Follow me, Springy! She's disappeared again. It's like keeping up with a jackrabbit. Or a cat. Follow my voice. And suddenly an alarming sound is coming from between 2 rock faces. It's high-pitched screeching and very loud. I squeeze through the crevice, and I'm in what looks like a cave without a ceiling. Trix, stop! The sound is amplified in this enclosure. It's become deafening. Sorry, Humi, but it feels so good. Have a try. What? Yell! Shout! Scream! Sing! At the top of your voice, loud as you can! I'm enjoying it as well, Zeki. It's strange, but it's been interesting so far. Really? I feel self-conscious, but I'm dying to have a go. You only live once, and it's so fabulous. She makes the noise again, and this time I join in. It's fantastic. The acoustics are something else. It's like an amphitheatre. Eventually we ran out of steam and I flopped to the ground, exhausted but exhilarated too. After we've caught our breath, I'm ready to push onwards. We'd better get on if we don't want to get back too late. Yeah, we're in chapter 3. Thanks, Fancy. Yeah, we got our first guy shot in the head on the jetty, and we got our second one turned into a cat pretty much immediately. So we've basically sped run the first 2 chapters, but we've learned. We better get on if we don't want to get back too late. We're here. That was quick. I'm surprised. I was expecting something more impressive, I suppose. This is the place? I mean, this is pretty weird, right? This is pretty impressive, I feel, as far as puddles of water go. This is the place? I look around, and for the first time, I notice several small pools of water, not much larger than puddles, around the edges of the enclosure. Oh, I see. I bend down next to the nearest pool and see straight away that it is the deepest red. It looks like blood. Look at mine, like liquid sky. I cross to the opposite side where Trixie is sitting, and sure enough, there is the clearest, richest blue water, and melted emeralds. Again, I follow her to another pool, as green as spring foliage. Then another of deepest purple, one of orange, yellow, and pink. Right, yeah, I'm assuming that assuming we don't get everyone killed pretty much immediately, we'll hopefully learn about all the strange mysteries. Well, it certainly is as amazing as you said, Trix. How strange that they're all so different. What's causing it? It has to be a trick of the light. Put your hand in. Well, I'm not sure that's a good idea. There could be any number of bacteria making this happen. Best not to touch it until we're safe. I've done it lots. It's fine. Yeah, she's definitely a homeopathy person, isn't she? I glance over, and sure enough, her furry little paws in the golden-coloured water. Somewhat reassured, I scoop some of the blue water up and sniff it. It smells wonderful, as though it's been perfumed. What is that smell? It's weirdly familiar. We found the cream, the face cream before, and now we've got like perfumed water. There's like a cosmetics factory on the island or something, isn't there? I take out my bottles and begin collecting the waters. I'll try and not be too improper with her then, Moradin. Smeller stream technology not supported. Sadly, no. My theory about the light is blown when I line the bottles up together, and they each retain their original hue. Something is dyeing this water. I can't wait to get back to the lab and run some tests. We can go back the easy way if you like. Follow me. We head along the rock shelf and go past the spot where we jumped down on the way here. Further along, there is an ascent. Just as Trixie had said, but I would hardly call it steps. Someone has clearly tried to make a trail here, but it's all a bit rough and ready. So someone else has been down here as well. Someone who had, like, human feet. Yeah, don't spoil anything, Zeki. Because... No, Steltech has only seen it with us. So this is something I already know. That we found weird cosmetics that are being thrown away. So don't worry, Zeki. We're aware of that. Further along still, I can make out a large empty metal drum. It's rusted, obviously discarded some time ago. I get a closer look and see that there is a tap near the base, and the remains of a label, but I can barely make out the words. I take a picture of it with my catalogue to decipher later. The perfume I smelled in the cave seems to be stronger here. I'm very intrigued. Trixie couldn't be less interested in all of this. She's happily skipping ahead looking for a good picnic spot for us, and I'll have to be patient with my investigations. Okay. So in a previous life, we found some face cream, or we were given some face cream by Snooty Booty, and she found it in a toxic waste dump where stuff was getting dumped, and then the scientist, the drunk scientist, had a conversation with someone on the phone about testing different things and how new stuff had arrived, and now we found perfume-smelling dyed water. So it makes it sound like there's some kind of like cosmetics factory on this island. Did it? I don't remember actually. I don't know if there's a way of seeing that. Like, it was one of these, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, cool. So it did. This is all much deeper than you were expecting for a cat dating sim. Me too, man. Me too. Okay, so there's some kind of cosmetics factory on the island or something. Because I guess not all cosmetics need to smell good. That's a rule for life, right? Well, let's get back to some romance then. As you're clearly hungering for romance. There's too much intrigue so far. We need to get back to chatting up cats. Come on, Humi. At this rate, you'll have to go back before we even get there. I'm not built like you, Trix. I've only got 2 legs. Not yet, anyway. Gotta stroke them felines. You need to cut me some slack. These cliffs are hard going. I'm taking an extra long lunch break today to go scavenging with Trixie. Having realised I'm the only member of the family not to be represented in rock form, she's become obsessed with finding my crystallised doppelganger. I'm both flattered and unnerved at being a member of a cat family. I try not to overthink it. Can we take 5 so I can catch my breath, please? Feline feelings. That's really good. I like that one. You're really good at wordplay, Moradin. You're going to be our captain of wordplay or something. See, I'm not very good at it. You're in charge of that. Can we take 5 so I can catch my breath, please? It's okay, we're here. It's just over this edge. Look! As I catch up to Trixie, I instantly see what she's referring to. As soon as my head gets above the cliff we're climbing, I'm confronted with a kind of rock basin. It's almost volcanic looking, as though something huge once fell here and left an almighty indentation. What is this, Trixie? Jump down, it's perfectly safe. The nimble cat has made it down to the plateau in a couple of swift leaps and is looking up as though encouraging a child into a swimming pool. It's easy, just spring up and glide down. For you, maybe, I'm a lot less cat than you might think. But as I stumble around, I find it surprisingly easy to find my footing. And my legs feel springier somehow, taking me higher than I expected when I jump. Landing feels soft and sure-footed. Maybe all of this island exercise is making me fitter. Or maybe we're turning into a fucking cat. Bravo! Maybe you're a lot less human than you might think. When I've stopped feeling pleased with myself, I take in my surroundings, I have to catch my breath. I feel as though I'm standing in a prehistoric time warp. Where are we? What is this? Haha, close your mouth, Humi. The Lucilites will get in. The what? Never mind. Just get some of this and ditch dodge for the high road. Some of the expressions you use, Trix, you do make me laugh. Were you born on this island? She's clawing at the rock like a scratch post. My parents brought me here in 1967. That explains the rocks and the tarot cards and everything. There we go. Really? Wow, do you remember? No, the last one told me. You mean the person who worked here before me? How did... Person? Yeah, no. Our previous person didn't tell her shit. So she's talking about someone else. But I'm silenced by her abrupt interruption. Thanks for all the help! I realise that I've done nothing and jump up to see what I can do, but Trix seems to have what she came here for. Take this. It's a shard of black and silver. Hold it in your hands and feel the character. Try to blend with it. I do as I'm told. The only thing I feel is foolish. I'm not sure. Perhaps I'm not very rock-like? Mineral! Sorry. Okay, leave it. We'll have to try again elsewhere, but to be honest, human, I'm running quite low on ideas for you. I feel quite guilty. I feel guilty that I'm so difficult to place. I wonder if I should try to make it better. I don't know which of these would be better. If she likes someone being honest, or if she just wants us to lie to her face. I'm gonna bluff through it. No, let's not quit so easily. Trixie flashes a look. I've put quite a bit of effort in, actually, Humi. I know, you've been amazing. I really meant myself. I've been a bit of a passenger with this so far, and I think it's time I made a bit more of a commitment to it. Trixie looks much brighter. Really? That's so sweet of you. Absolutely. You sit down and take a break. I've got this. Trixie nuzzles down into a patch of wildflowers and watches me intently. I have absolutely no idea what I'm meant to be doing, so I start improvising, all the while watching her little cat face for clues on how I'm doing. I crouch low to the ground and hold my arms out, open palms face down. I'm imagining their fleshy metal detectors. I hover them about an inch above the ground and make large, sweeping arcs. It seems to be going okay, and I'm rather pleased with myself. Trixie is smiling and nodding encouragement, clearly convinced by my little charade. Then I make the mistake of closing my eyes because I think it will look more authentic. Now I can't see what Trixie is doing, even if she is looking at me. I decide to wrap this up. Oh, I stop mid-flow, as though I can feel something. What gives, Humi? You found something? Her voice is very close, so I can't risk opening my eyes now. Instead, I lower my hand and feel about for something, anything. I believe I have. My hand is settled on a small stone of some kind, which I grasp in my fist. Yes, definitely, this is me. Let's see it then. I open my eyes and my fist and am disappointed to see a very ordinary piece of rock, indistinguishable from all the others around this basin. I cringe, but I'm committed to it now. That's interesting. Not at all what I was expecting. So you're sure this one is you? Hang on a minute. I try to look serious and focused, the way that Trix does when she's doing this stuff. Yeah, the lyrics of this song are meow, 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 meow. Yeah, it's good. I like the music in this game. I think it's good how they've made sort of like synth pop with meows. Yes, I'm definitely getting something. There's a sensation. Something's changing. The choir video where all they sing is meow. It reminds me a bit of much better versions of the Jingle Cats. If you don't know what that is, Google it. I find it more funny to watch the Yogscast live streams of them watching the Jingle Cats. But those are fucking great. Give it a Google, or maybe we'll put one on the end of the stream or something. Very catchy. Very good wording. That'd be the size of your nose, Humi. Huh? How stupid do you think I am? What? I don't... You can't stop... You can stop the charade now. But I am feeling. Nothing, Humi. I put that bit of rock under your hand for you to pick up. I knew you were faking. I can feel my face burn red. Trixie, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to... I know what you're doing. It was sweet, in a way, but you don't need to pretend with me. This is very real for me, and it really doesn't matter if anyone else gets it or not. I get it. I feel so shallow. Yeah, I guess you would. Hey-ho! And with a derisive snort, she bounded off, leaving me to find my own way back to the camp. I don't know if I did the right thing there. I probably should have just admitted that I didn't understand what I was doing. Blown it with Trixie. Fucking damn it. Never gonna find love on this island with anyone who isn't a cat that looks like a testicle. Alright, let's do some more recon. Oh, no, we should definitely rest. Oh, I don't want to go through that again. You had a lovely nap, and you wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic. And there was me thinking the first time round that the rest system was just a needless addition to the game. Right, let's find the letters that Zane mentioned. I run through the sequence one more time. I know it by heart, but I'm nervous. I've been watching long enough to know that, to be sure that oh, Zane is the security guard. Yeah, because we had that whole conversation with the security guard where we asked his name. That's it, isn't it? I think that's right. This crazy cat lady's Love Island. Kind of. Kind of. Yeah. Crazy Cat Scientist. Love Island. I've been watching long enough to be sure that the routine is just like clockwork. No deviations. Well, apart from one, and I've made that work for me. So the boat arrives at 1300 hours. Zane, always alone, talks to the older man, Bob, who hands over the post, while the younger of the two, Joe, loads up the dolly with boxes of supplies. Zane puts the envelopes, never more than 3, into the breast pocket of his jacket. That solves the mystery of why he always overdresses when the boat comes in. He then wheels the dolly to the mess tent and unloads the food supplies, then to the lab and unloads the medical supplies, then to the storage hut where he unloads the remaining packages and leaves the dolly. Next he goes to Professor Pauper's tent. If the professor is in, he hands over 2 of the envelopes, keeping the third, his puzzler, in his jacket pocket. If, however, the professor isn't in his tent, Zane makes his way back down to his chair on the dock, drapes his jacket over the back of it and spends the afternoon on his puzzles before going back again in the evening to deliver the professor's mail. He never lets the envelopes out of his jacket pocket or the jacket out of his sight, so my only opportunity... Sorry, there's a fly buzzing around my desk. The only opportunity would be to pickpocket the security guard when he takes his jacket off. But that relies on Professor Pauper not being in his tent. Luckily, I've ensured, with the help of my feline friends, that the professor will be held up during his out-of-grounds inspection. Usually, Pauper just meanders around the inner perimeter of the base camp area and checks that all is well. Most days, everything is, but today, Kibbles and Trixies have staged a little rumpus that will engage him for just enough time to miss Zane's delivery. He is, of course, sat in his usual place, jacket draped over his chair. Hi there, Zane. 127. We were 125 the first time round, weren't we? Yeah, so it is going up. Yeah. I suppose we're on first name terms now. I have a little something for you. I am pimping out my cats to distract the guards. Do you have anything wrong with that? Do you have any problems with that? He's clearly wearing his jacket, that's a good point. Game is bullshit. Unplayable mess. Zane frowns, but does not look at me. His eyes are instead where they always are, on his crossword. I've made you a puzzle! He eyes me skeptically. A crossword, to be exact. It's pretty tricky, if I do say so myself. I created the puzzle using all of the cat's general knowledge. Major and McMurphy thought of some particularly treacherous teasers, while Kibbles and Trixie offered me some obscure pop culture questions. Snooty Booty was mostly just trying to get cat treats out of my pocket. I hand the paper to Zane, who's still frowning. This Dick's having a whale of a time? Is this a joke? Oh, it gets harder. Zane peers over the crossword. Why did you make this for me? Well, you know how bored I get, and I, like you, Zane. No, and I like you, Zane. Sorry, that's the proper way to read that. Zane breaks into the first smile I've seen on his face, although small and slightly uncomfortable looking. I don't have anything for you. Yes, he's warming to me. The plan is going spiffingly. Oh, don't worry about that. All I want is for you to complete it. I make my hands into a heart shape while Zane is distracted. I feel stupid, but McMurphy insisted that would be my signal for him to strike, and sure enough, along he slinks, cool as anything. He winds his feline body between Zane's legs, unnoticed. Zane's tongue is now sticking out, and his shoulders are hunched in concentration. Stuck already? I dart a look at McMurphy to get ready to make his move. He throws me a disconcerting wink. It's not that hard. Just this one, about the archetypal counterpart to Yandere. Ah yes, that's quite niche. Thanks for that one, Kibbles. While I engage Zane, I can see that McMurphy has already reached up and through stretching against the chair has nudged his nose into the inside breast pocket of the jacket. Oi! Shoo! Get out of it! I see McMurphy scamper off and my heart sinks. Anyway, I'll check back later to see how you're getting on with it. Zane grunts in response. I walk back dejectedly to where McMurphy and I had agreed to meet after our mission was over, and suddenly my spirits lift at the sight of a little pink corner peeking out from under the designated rock. McMurphy, you're a star! There's no end to me talents! I snatch up the envelope. say goodbye to McMurphy, thank God, and go back to the privacy of my tent. I examine my trophy while the kettle boils. I'm touched by the pretty pink envelope and delicate fragrance. I feel subtly embarrassed. Am I prying into the professor's love life? What has gotten into me? Getting notions of secret going-ons and subterfuge? I'm about to put the letter back when I'm overwhelmed by curiosity. I wonder who the professor's secret love could be. What are they like? Woman? Man? Other? Before I can contain myself, I've steamed open the flap and am peeking inside. It's not at all what I expect, and my previous suspicions come flooding back. The paper is in stark contrast to the pretty pink wrapping. It's a typed message on white paper. Percival, I have been informed of your latest subject, and would rather hear about such things from you personally. It would not be wise to take my silence for authorization. Please keep this in mind for future transactions. I will let this indiscretion slide, but if it is ever repeated, I will have no choice but to deal with you the way I dealt with 124. Okay. As for the project, case study 6 is asthenic. I don't know what that word is. Please act accordingly. P103 has been unsuccessful. Void any further investigation. Lab 09 has received the newest batch. Protocol to begin on the 8th. Finally, I trust your new assistant has arrived and is proving more helpful than the previous one. We seem to have had a run of bad luck in that particular area. As you know, I do not abide bad luck and will expect a reversal of fortune post-haste. Faithfully yours, 7. Okay, there was a lot of cryptic clues in that one. So there's labs. There was something really awful happened to 124. I mean, more awful than getting shot on a jetty, apparently. And something's happened to Specimen 6, which I assume is the 6th cat that we haven't met yet. But then, I don't know why that would be Specimen 6. Because it's the only one they've actually captured. It's weird, isn't it? Okay, let's get back to romance, shall we? After that brief interlude of intrigue. I don't know how much Trixie likes us after we lied to her about liking gems, minerals and shit. The sun has almost set. A large orange orb low in the sky. If I feel I could reach out and touch it. Maybe this is what Trixie wanted me to see. Her whispered invite from behind the lab door this morning was a brief. Cave. Sundown. Dress to de-stress. Be there or despair. As I reach Trixie's cave, my breath is literally taken away. I suffocate and die. Chapter 4. There are clusters of lucilites, tiny illuminated flies that look like strings of fairy lights hung all over the beach. They lead to a formation of rocks close to the water's edge, spotlit by the amber glow of the moon, surrounded by the sparkle and twinkle of more lucilites. It's magical! I call to Trixie as she emerges from her cave, dragging something in her mouth. I dash over to help her. Whatever it is, it looks far too heavy for a delicate calico cat. Oh, thank you, I'm almost done. Could you take it over to the seats? She's indicating to the rock formation I was just admiring. And now I see it from this angle, it really does look like a seating area to be in. In fact, the whole area looks like a stage, beautifully lit and set. When I put the cloth bundle where she wants it and untie it for her, I discover a small collection of objects that Trixie immediately sets about organising. She's so deft and determined, I can't help but see the human in her. I can't help but see a human in her. And that human is me. Can I do anything? This looks fabulous, Trix. How did you manage to stage the lucilites? She laughs. Easy when you know how. They just love mana. Mana? The mana from the heaven flowers. Look! She takes a flower from a garland she's pulling from the cloth bag, and punctures the bulbous centre with her claw. A few drops of clear, sticky liquid ooze out, instantly attracting a tiny swarm of sparkling flies. What is it? Taste it. Go ahead. It's safe, Humi. Actually, it's delicious. I gingerly touch a droplet with the tip of my pinky and put it on my tongue. It's sweet and spicy, like cinnamon and honey. She's right. It's delicious. The garland is now around my neck, and I look like I'm wearing a necklace of dancing lights. Trixie has nudged a much smaller garland onto her head, and the effect is stunning. You have a halo. Trixie giggles. Well, I am an angel after all. This stuff is good. Is there mana in this? I drink a warm, sweet nectar from a shell that Trixie has placed in my hands. Yes, amongst other things. She is drugging us. We are gonna be off our tits. Tripping balls. Steady though, McMurphy helped me make it. They're implying that McMurphy, the Irish cat, is some kind of criminal. That he is like a drug dealer and pickpocket. Which I feel is an unfair stereotype. I thought I could detect the warmth of his Irish charm. Or whiskey as we call it on the mainland. Slent, Murph. As I drain the shell, I feel a bit lightheaded. And I sit down on one of the rock seats. Well, hello, chums. I didn't see you there. The whole of Trixie's mineral family are gathered on the other rocks. The gang's all here. This is a lovely treat, Trixie. Thank you. Oh, but the main event is only just beginning. I would like to present for your pleasure and delectation, Mademoiselle Trixie Bell. Oh shit, is she doing like a burlesque act? I clap enthusiastically but have no idea what's going on. I'm having a ball anyway. And then it begins. Trixie has taken centre stage, throws her head to the full moon and lets out the most almighty sound. It's long and loud and weird and a strange concoction of meowing and hissing and purring all together in a cacophony of ear-piercing caterwauling. For a moment I'm confused, but it's like another part of me starts to take over. A part of me that understands this awful racket, and my ears rearrange until what I'm hearing sounds like singing. Beautiful singing, sad and plaintive, and then rising to hopeful and rousing until I'm compelled to join in. I throw my head back and let out a sound I didn't know I could make. Come on, Humi, come up here! Trixie is inviting me to join her on the stage. I'm momentarily brought back to my senses, aware of who I am, and it jolts me. What the hell am I doing out here on the beach at night with a clouder of yowling cats? Part of me feels like I'm intruding. It's voyeuristic and I feel uncomfortable. Join me! But there's another part of me that wants to cut loose and allow myself to experience all of it. Fuck it, let's get Cat up in here. I leap gracefully onto the platform next to Trixie. From here the view is even more astonishing. There are cats swarming in from the rocks and the undergrowth to join us. We're all harmonizing as though we're one entity. Tails intertwine as Lucilites dance around us. Trixie has begun a kind of dance, stretching and twisting her whole body. She looks elastic. He is tripping balls right now. I begin to gyrating too. It feels fantastic. Every muscle and sinew is malleable. I am in total control of my entire anatomy. I can see sound, taste colours. Before I have time to take in what changed, I'm running at full pelt with Trixie following, and I'm behind her a whole string of cats, all scampering in a serpentine line, with me at the head. I weave around rocks and right up to the water's edge. Then, suddenly, it all changes again, and we're reaching up towards the moon, cats standing on their hind legs, front legs stretching up and swaying, as though being blown in the warm breeze. The moon melting its amber glow over us until suddenly a feel a wave of nausea wash over me. He's drunk too much, taking too many drugs. I break from the other revelers and crawl on my hands and knees a little way up the beach. It feels less potent here, and I lay down for a while and let the sounds of yowling cats sing me to sleep. Great. Fucking weird. Trixie drugged us, and then we ran across the beach. Okay, it's 10 to 10, so we've got time for one more, so we'll do one last recon. I think this is the best way to do it, is to do like a recon and a romance and a recon and a romance, because you get sort of a mix of like progressing the story and the cool sort of intrigue, this chemical like cosmetic factory stuff, and at the same time you get the really fucking weird romance bit. This is a strange game. Do we want to check out what Snoots has brought us? Is this a new version of the Snoots thing? 20% of the antidote, yeah, not bad. Okay, so that's the skin cream. Snoots brought us something else, or there's a shipment of supplies. What do people want to do on our last one? We want to do Recon 7 or Recon 11? Any preferences? Or I'll just pick one myself. Do you want to probe some workers? Oh, you want to do some Snoots. Okay, let's analyse some products. Give me one last chance to break out my snooty voice. Roman, are you still sleeping? You really ought to be awake by now. Snooty Booty, are you okay? What are you doing in my tent? All this lazing around is very bad for your complexion. To say nothing about the dragging effects on the delicate tissue around the eyes. Is there something I can help you with? Possibly. I have something I want you to look at. Right now? What time is it? Time you were active. Come along. Well, at least let me get ready. Very well. Snooty Booty sits down and starts grooming herself. After a moment, she looks up again. Why aren't you ready yet? Can you leave the tent so I can get dressed? Oh, for goodness sake. Snooty Booty rolls her eyes and walks out. I get dressed resignedly and follow her. What do you think this is? I'm intrigued. We're on the beach, staring at a partially buried bottle sealed inside a plastic bag. It looks as though it has only recently washed up. Well, there's only really one way to find out. I pull the bottle out of the sand. It has some kind of document or note in the bag along with the bottle. What is this thing? Read it to me. It's a good thing I'm just as curious as Snooty, or I would be feeling a lot more irritable right now. I carefully unseal the bag and unfold the paper. I read the note out loud. Initial tests on the most recent formula are encouraging. Subjects 6 through 18 appeared visibly younger. Moderate to severe side effects noted, including increased hair growth and marked mood alteration. Okay. Subjects 1 through 5 had major complications. Some new small tumours, skin irritation, partial blindness and memory loss. We need you to look into this. Check for contaminants and continue to iterate on the formula. Appeared visibly younger? Snooty Booty, is that the most important thing you gather from this report? You're quite right, Roman. We ought not to trust it. The note could have been written by anyone. We shall conduct our own experiment. Apply the cream to my skin. Have you lost your mind, Snooty Booty? Did you hear what I read out? Tumours, blindness, memory loss. Statistics bore me. You should know that by now. Let's live a little. I'm willing to take the risk in the name of science. You took the risk on that skin cream you gave me, didn't you, Snooty Booty? I did? What of it? You developed welts all over your neck, didn't you? Possibly there was a link. But as I recall, we never did rule out the coconut hair collar that Trixie made for me. I believe that was around the same time. Right, I'm seriously advising you not to do anything with this ointment. I'm going to get my kit bag from the lab and see if we can't work out what this stuff is made of. I was hoping the lab would be free, but the professor is in here making some notes. Oh, hello, Roman. I thought you were taking a day off for the lab today. Yeah, I am, Professor. I just wanted to check something. I can't take the test equipment away without the professor getting suspicious. I'll have to come up with some kind of excuse. Let's make an excuse. Well, I wanted to get ahead of some field work. There are some samples I found that I think could be useful. Pick up the field cat bag. Pauper looks up from his work. Oh? What kind of samples? I have to make this believable, but also invite no other questions. The samples are fecal. Fecal? Yes, a large poo, sir. It has rather interesting properties. Jolly good. Off we go then. Nailed it. I take the bag and leave. As I approach the beach, it becomes clear Snooty Booty has managed to break into the ointment. She appears to have spilled some and now is busy rolling in it. Snooty Booty, what are you thinking? That could be dangerous. The only danger here is this ghastly sand sticking to my delicate skin. Do help me get rid of it, Roman. I tried to wipe the sand off, but it's stuck like glue. Underneath the layer of sand, I can see her skin is very pink. There's no time to lose. I pick her up and run into the ocean, trying to use the seawater to clean off as much of the ointment as I can. Put me down! What on earth? I've never been so humiliated in my life! She twists out of my grip and scampers off in a huff. I think I've got it all off, so I leave her to it. Now back to the samples. There's not much I can do here on the beach, so I just have to wait until Professor Pauper is finished in the lab. And why did I take the equipment? Oh, to get like a sample. Why couldn't I just take the whole tub? Never mind. Well, that was quick. And as luck would have it, the professor needed to retire to his tent earlier than usual. He has read some research papers that arrived from the mainland this morning. He has to read some research papers that arrived from the mainland this morning. So now I can continue looking into this ointment. I begin by testing the substances for several common compounds found in cosmetics, but it's negative for all of them. I widen the test for other organic compounds and get a match. About 30% of the ointment is cat saliva. If they're using saliva from the cats on the island, they could be infecting all their test subjects with catification. But where have these other side effects come from? I run the ointment again, this time looking for known pharmaceuticals. Before I get the results back, Snooty Booty comes trotting in. I just thought you should know that the security guard is coming this way. You should make yourself scarce before he arrives. Not that I care what happens to you after you threw me in the ocean. I have no time to finish the experiment now, but I will work on it later in the privacy of my tent. I take my things and run before Zane arrives. Shit. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up and leave it there today. So what have we learnt? We've learnt that getting too tired is a recipe for getting yourself shot. We've learnt that if you don't help cats, you're likely to become one. We've learnt that... what did we learn from our recon sessions? We learnt that... Oh, I can't go to the menu to see the things. We learnt that there's a bunch of subjects and labs and things that the professor is getting letters from repeatedly. That there are perfume-smelling different coloured pools in a cave. And that there is a skin cream that different versions of it potentially gave people tumours. Trixie's missing her sis, yes, who is apparently in a lot of pain or has been captured or something. We learned a lot of stuff. So my pet theory is that there's some kind of cosmetics factory and they're using, either it was here before the cats or there's something on this island that's vital to the cosmetics and the cats are just a side effect of the island. I don't know. There was that thing about the plant as well, that like the flower that Snooty suggested there might be some special properties of, but I don't know if that's the same flower as the one that we drank from and got fucked up and then ran with a bunch of cats across the sand. I don't know. But yeah, that's enough cats today. The rest of the week is going to be Hitman from tomorrow till Friday, 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. GMT. If you're not already following and you want to see that kind of stuff, please follow. I will definitely be coming back to finish this now because we're too far in. And that will be next week, probably Wednesday, because Tuesday is the next episode of Jonas and I's review show, where we review video games, TV and movies that we've enjoyed in the past month, as well as the random film we picked from our random film selector, Aloha, which I will tease now was fucking batshit, and that will be a fun conversation to have. So yeah, come join us on Tuesday for that. Come join me tomorrow and the rest of the week for Hitman. On Friday there's new Elusive Target, which should be fun, and come back, let's say Wednesday for now, for more Perfect Date. Check above, right near, conveniently where the follow button is, for the events tab at the top, where you can, I've been using that to like make events that you can like set reminders through Twitch for. So for specific things like the Elusive Target on Friday, which is in Hawke's Bay, there's an event for that. There's an event for this games review thing on Tuesday, and I'm making an event for the next episode of this as well, if you want to keep up with those things. But otherwise, thank you for watching. It was lovely to have you all here, and I will catch you next time you're around. See you later, everyone.